The last words between the Albuquerque couple who were stranded in an Arizona wilderness were pretty much what you would expect from a couple who had been married for 60 years. 86-year-old Dana Davis survived, but his wife Betty did not. Dana is now home, and News 13's Crystal Gutierrez spoke to him today. Crystal?
And Dick, Dana says it still hasn't fully sunk in yet. He's spending a lot of time with his kids right now and will visit one who lives out of town soon. But in a week or two, he says he will come back home alone for the first time since his wife died. A home filled with memories. Dana Davis sits in a house full of memories. Pictures cover walls. Each one of these knickknacks tells a different story. There is one thing they all have in common. They remind him of his wife, Betty.
First time our eyes met, we just fell in love.
Last week, Dana and Betty were strategizing their next move. They took a wrong turn on their way home from a trip to Chandler, Arizona, and became stranded on a desolate dirt road. After rationing off their food for 5 days, the couple, both in their 80s, decided to hike out. Betty collapsed shortly after and died. Their last words to each other are still vivid in his mind.
That I loved her. That I loved her was really what it was. And she said the same thing to me. And that was about the last thing.
Dana continued hiking and was rescued the next day. He spent a week in the hospital. Tuesday, he returned home to this house Dana and Betty lived in for 20 years. He says there's already a list of things he will have to do. At the top of that list,
that was what she was going to do as soon as we got home. She was going to write the Christmas letter.
The letter is sent out to hundreds of friends and family around the world. This year, Dana will have to break the news that his wife of 60 years has died. She was one of the reasons he was determined to keep hiking that day.
To let people know where Betty was, what had happened, and I sort of wanted closure with her to make sure she didn't lay there in a snowbank for the whole winter.
And Dana was able to tell crews the path he walked and Betty's body was found. He also told us his second reason to survive. He says he always had the ambition to go skiing when he turns 100 years old. Back to you.
Only 14 years to go. Thank you, Crystal. Those knickknacks, incidentally, the Davises collected were from their travels around the world, and they had planned more trips, including one to Nepal next year.